I live in a quiet suburb just outside London, in a quaint little house with a neatly trimmed garden. My name is William, and for most of my life, it has been remarkably uneventful. That is, until I discovered the horrifying secret that lay hidden in the depths of my basement. My house, a two-story Victorian-era structure, was inherited from my late uncle, an eccentric man who had a penchant for collecting antiques and curiosities. Stepping into the house felt like stepping back in time. The walls were adorned with vintage photographs, and the sweet aroma of old books and polished wood filled the air. The house, though old, held an undeniable charm that made it a cozy abode. When I first moved in, I knew very little of my uncle's past. He was a recluse, often holing himself up in his study, surrounded by ancient manuscripts and strange artifacts. Most peculiarly, underneath the house lay a basement filled with locked rooms. According to family lore, my uncle had never allowed anyone inside those shrouded chambers, leaving their secrets to ferment undisturbed. It was only a matter of time before my innate curiosity got the better of me. One gloomy afternoon, as raindrops tapped rhythmically against the window panes, I found myself standing before the basement door. The key, hidden away in my uncle's study, felt heavy in my hand as I turned it, unlocking the well-guarded secret that lay beneath. The ancient wooden stairs creaked beneath my weight as I descended into the darkness. My hand instinctively reached for the light switch, but a sudden flicker left me in complete darkness. Panic set in. I was about to retreat when a peculiar smoky scent invaded my nostrils, and a sliver of light pierced through the gloom. I followed it, step by cautious step, until I found myself standing before a partially ajar door. Pushing it open gently, I was met with a scene that froze the blood within my veins. The room was dimly lit by a single, flickering candle. The air hung heavy with a mixture of ancient dust and decay. The walls were adorned with sinister murals, depicting grotesque creatures and macabre rituals. In the center of the room, a peculiar wooden table stood, covered in worn leather-bound books and strange artifacts. It was an eerie sight that felt like a scene out of a macabre play. As I stepped farther into the room, fascinated and horrified in equal measure, I heard a gentle whisper emanating from the shadows. "You should not be here," it seemed to say, as if carried on the breeze itself. Startled, I turned to leave, only to discover the door had closed behind me, locking me in that bone-chilling chamber. Panic gripped me, and my heart pounded against my chest. I felt the room closing in on me as whispers grew louder within my head. The walls seemed to come alive, contorting and morphing into nightmarish shapes that clawed at my sanity. Desperate for escape, my eyes fell upon a small book sitting atop the ancient table. Its title, "The Dark Arts Unveiled," was emblazoned in faded gold lettering. My hands trembled as I opened it, hoping to find a clue, a way to break free from this wicked nightmare. Within its pages, I discovered a sinister truth that left me paralyzed with fear. The room itself was a gateway to a realm of darkness, a dwelling place for twisted spirits hungry for human souls. My heart sank as I realized that by entering this room I had become their prey. With newfound determination, I scoured the book for a solution. It spoke of rituals, lost incantations that had the power to open a portal and summon guardians from other dimensions. Though I paused at the thought of meddling with such dangerous forces, I knew it was my only hope for survival. Days turned into nights as I meticulously studied and practiced the forbidden arts, gathering materials and performing ancient rituals within the sinister basement. My mind was a whirlwind of fear, anticipation, and desperate hope. I had become a prisoner of that eerie room, relentlessly pursued by the malevolent spirits, their haunting whispers growing louder with each passing day. And then, one dark evening, the final night of my unrelenting battle, the veil between the worlds finally broke. A tremendous cacophony of unearthly screams erupted as two imposing figures emerged from the abyss. They were my protectors, summoned to vanquish the evil that lurked within the basement. Clad in dark armor, their eyes glowed with an ethereal intensity. The air crackled with energy as they waged an otherworldly battle against the spirits, their swords slicing through the darkness with endless grace. Like beings from a forgotten age, their strength seemed boundless. As the last wail of a defeated spirit echoed through the room, the figures turned towards me. In a voice that seemed to reverberate in my very soul, they spoke, "You have been touched by darkness, but fear not, for your heart yearns to embrace the light." Moved by their words, I vowed never to venture into the darkness again, to let the spirit slumber undisturbed. With their help, I managed to break free from my prison, the basement door unlocking as if by magic. Leaving that haunted chamber behind forever, I closed the door, sealing away the horrors I had unleashed. The house regained its peacefulness, and life returned to normal. But the memories of that ordeal, the whispers that still occasionally haunted my dreams, reminded me of the hidden darkness that can lurk behind the most unassuming facades. Now, as I sit in my study, surrounded by books and trinkets, I can't help but shudder at the sight of the locked basement door. Its secrets, as well as the strength of the creatures that lay dormant behind it, will forever weigh heavily on my soul. I am left with a resounding lesson: some doors are better left shut, their secrets left untouched, for the pursuit of knowledge can sometimes lead to horrors unimaginable.